Biggest thing I like to talk to you about tonight is scams. The local scams going on right now, both locally and internationally. There's so many of them out there, it's pathetic. There's the government grant scam. Basically, these people are out there reporting that there's government grants available, and there's these companies you'll find on the internet, or sometimes even locally, that tell you that they can get you all kinds of government grants to start a business, to build a shed, to do whatever. You'd be amazed at what they say they can do. You apply for these grants, you fill out all these applications, you give them $500 to $1,000, and all they do is mail you the application you can get right off the internet for free. You know, I mean, they're taking advantage of a government grant system, and 9 times out of 10, what they advertise that you can get a grant for, you can't. I mean, they're geared for certain things. So that's one to be aware of. Another one is the credit repair scam. Same basic idea. These people tell you that they can fix your credit, they'll remove items from your credit report, and you say, oh, that's great. You pay them $500 to $1,000 or whatever they charge, and all they do is something that you can do, which is write the credit company and contest that charge, and it is removed from your credit for 30 days until it's validated by the credit company, then it comes right back. So you believe that all these things have been removed from your credit and your life is good. 30 days down the road, it's right back on your credit again because, you know, it is most of the time a valid credit on your credit report. Cash for gold, that's a big one right now. You see it on TV, you see it on the internet, you see it in the newspaper. Some are legitimate companies, but most are scams. They give you a fraction of what the gold is actually worth. They give you the runaround. They have all these different, policies in place. And by the time you figure out what's going on, they've already melted your gold down. You're not going to get it back, and if you get a check, you get a check for a fraction of what the gold's actually worth. So look into that. If you have any questions, call us. We'll be more than happy to answer questions. There's these last few are some that I really see around here. One is the mystery shopper scam. You get a letter in the mail that says, hi, you've been selected to be a mystery shopper. Also included in this letter is a check for $3,000, $4,000, whatever the case may be. You're just like, wow, this is good money here. This is a real check. And they are real checks. The letter instructs you to take the check to your bank and cash the check, which you do. You take the check to your bank, cash the check. The bank cashes the check because it is a real check. The letter goes on to tell you that you're supposed to keep $200 for your troubles, go down to Walmart, spend $125 on whatever you want. You get to keep that stuff too, and you fill out a little survey to rate your experience at Walmart. And the remaining $3,000 or whatever the case may be, they want you to wire through MoneyGram or Western Union to test the wire transfer service. That's what they claim, to test it. You wire the money to the suspect who collects the $3,000 from the check that you've just cashed. A week later, the check comes back to your bank saying this is an invalid account, and now you're responsible for that money because you are responsible for every check you cash at your bank. So be wary of that one. If you get a letter in the mail with a check in it for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, it is not good, no matter what. Okay, unless you are expecting it. Now that's a different story. But
if it's too good to be true,
it is. Always. Absolutely. Absolutely. And every time you write a check, you're giving whoever has access to that check your name, your address, your telephone number, maybe your driver's license number, maybe your social security number, your bank name, the bank routing number, your bank account number, everything they need to steal money from you. So keep that in mind. I'll say it, online bill paying is the safest way to go because that way nobody actually sees your check. I know a lot of you probably don't use online bill pay. It is recommended. The banks are more secure on the internet than they are writing a check to somebody, because that way you got that letter opener that sits that makes minimum wage. It sits at the credit card company where you pay your bill. They're opening all those checks and they have access to all of your checks and they can write down everything. Whereas if you use online bill pay, the money is transferred straight from your bank to their bank. Nobody ever sees it except for bank employees, and they should be more trustworthy than the average minimum wage employee. Not always, but that's generally the case. Let me see here. Identity thieves can work in businesses and steal business records, bank records, pharmacy records, whatever the case may be. They'll dive in dumpsters, trash, It's scary what the lengths people will go through to steal identity. Another thing they'll do is called skimming. Basically, it's a small device, little tiny device, and the new ones they have these days are very tiny. They can attach it onto an ATM machine, a gas pump, anywhere where you slide a credit card. And what they do is they'll come up and they'll take a picture of that and they'll take it home. And they'll manufacture this device to slip right over the one that's already there. So it looks just like the gas pump. You never see it. You go up, you slide your card in, you take it out. The gas pump works just fine. You don't think anything about it. 3 weeks later, you have 10 charges on your credit card you didn't make. And what they'll do is they'll leave that device there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever the case may be. It usually goes undetected. They'll come back at 2 o'clock in the morning and pull it off. That little device is a miniature computer. It scans everything off your credit card and stores it. And they can store 200, 300, 1,000 card numbers. They'll take it back to their computer, they'll download it. Now they have 1,000 credit card numbers. The strip on the back of your credit card has everything they need to use your credit card. The full account number, your name, that little 3-digit code on the back, everything is in that strip. Yes, sir. You'll get an email, and it says, Dear SunTrust Bank client, or Dear whoever. They'll figure out who your bank is or who you have an account with, and they'll draft this email that looks official. It's got company logos, company everything. They'll send you this email, and it says something to the effect of, we need to update your account settings. Please click the link below to take you to this website so you can update your account settings. Well, you click the link, you don't think anything about it. It takes you to a web page that looks official. It's got the company's logos. It looks just like any other company page. And it asks you to enter your account number, your passwords, whatever the case may be. And unless you're paying attention to the actual gibberish up there in the address bar that tells you what website you're going to, you'll never know the difference. But when you do that and you hit enter, you give them all of your personal information. So the best defense against that is to pay attention to the actual website address. If it doesn't say suntrust.com or whatever the case may be, then don't do it. And if there's any question, call that company. Call them yourself and say, hey, have you sent this email out? I can tell you that because of this type of scam, no company is going to send an email like this, just because of this type of scam. If they want you to update your information, they're going to call you. They're going to verify who they are. And some phishing does occur over the telephone. So if somebody calls you and they ask you for this information and you can't verify they are who they say they are, say, I'm going to call you right back. Hang up, call the company from the card number or the telephone number you have and verify. You know what I'm saying? So in the packets that I gave out, there's examples of all of these. There's pictures of skimming devices. There's examples of phishing emails. Let's see here. The most common type of identity theft is credit card fraud, where someone will steal your credit card number. Typically, you'll see a small charge of $1, $2, $8, whatever the case may be. That's a test charge. They do that first to make sure the card's going to work. And then they'll wait a couple of days to see if you notice it. And then they're going to hit it for $800 or $1,000. That's the way they work. And people say, well, they ordered this merchandise. It had to be shipped somewhere. Yes, that's true. It was shipped somewhere. With the exception of a couple of locals that I've had that are new in the business, every time merchandise is shipped, it's shipped to either a vacant house or a house where no one is home during the day. UPS doesn't know the difference. You know as well as I do, they'll leave that package right on your doorstep. So what this person does is, with the invention of email and tracking numbers and everything else, they can track the package and see that it's going to be delivered on this day. They'll park in a car down the street, wait on UPS to deliver it. As soon as UPS drives off, they walk up, pick it up, and drive off. Nobody knows the difference, And another way to track them is IP addresses, which is it's an internet address that is assigned to your computer when you use the computer. It's a unique number that is a way to track what computer used this. And most companies capture what's called the IP address of the person using this.